Hey everybody, I want to talk a little bit about posture in judo and gi grappling and how it's different from when we do no-gi and wrestling, and the 5 important points that kind of reinforce the fact that we need to have a good, strong, upright posture in order to attack and defend appropriately. So, the first one talks about how we get our grips on our partner. Okay, if I have a good upright posture, okay, I can maintain level change with him. So if he's lowering his level and things like that, I can maintain level change, but I don't want to bend over, because as soon as I start bending over, okay, I start giving him a height advantage in terms of coming in and gripping over me. So when I'm here, okay, it's much easier for me to defend a grip when somebody's coming from bottom up, in, okay, than when somebody is coming over the top of me. Alright, because when I have a height advantage on them, I have my whole forearm and I have all these structures to be able to defend grips and move around. And when it's the reverse and I'm lower, alright, this reduces the amount of surface area that I can expose, okay, to my partner to block those grips, especially in the sense of him coming over the top and controlling my posture. The other thing is that if I'm bent over, all right, I can't reach as far without getting off balance. All right, so when I'm bent over like this, all right, my center of gravity is dispersed a lot more, and as I reach, okay, this tends to put a lot more weight out in front of my body, so I can't reach as far without endangering myself, which means that he can get a grip on me faster than I can get a grip on him. However, when I have a good upright posture, I can reach really far away. I can use the entire length of my arm to reach and grip without exposing myself very much. And that creates a scenario where I can get the first gripper's advantage, which means that if I'm coming in and I'm feeding that grip for like a left on right situation, right now I'm already getting into my second grip, setting up my throws, while he's trying to figure out how to get a defensive grip, not even an offensive grip. So even though that gripping advantage in terms of distance is only maybe a couple of inches, if all things being equal and we're in the same division, we're relatively the same sizes, that couple of inches can make a huge difference. Alright, so the second thing around posture in gi grappling is how quickly we can react to somebody attacking us. Now, in gi grappling, okay, we can affect motion on our partner from much further away. Okay, unlike wrestling and no-gi, where I actually have to have control of a portion of the body in order to affect a takedown, I can do that from all the way out here. And that means that there's a much larger range of attacks that somebody can employ on me. One of which is a lot of different foot sweeps. So if we're in this position, okay, my front foot right now is exposed. If he goes to foot sweep me, I need to move my weight distribution and react and get that foot out of the way very fast. If I'm bent over like this, it is much more difficult for me to move that foot without becoming even more seriously off balance. So when we have an upright posture, right, we can change our distribution very easily from one foot to the other and still maintain balance. It also means that if someone's coming in for a throw, right, let's say he's coming in for like an ippon seonage, okay, I have enough posture that I can float around his hips, and it allows me to, again, move across the mat very easily. Something that I can't do from a low posture. Here, I can move forward and back very easily, but it's harder for me to especially move this way easily. So our reaction time, when we have that nice, good, upright posture, is significantly increased. Alright, the third key factor with gi grappling is how we can use our hips around our posture. So, if I'm trying to defend an attack here, my partner comes in for, say, a forward throw, I keep on Sunai again. Okay? Having the ability to drive my hips forward into my partner is one of the best ways to defend these types of attacks where someone's rotating around. Okay? So, if I have my hips back and he does the same thing, by the time my hips come in to defend that attack, it's already too late. Because I've had to move from this position to this position before I can drive in. And that little bit of a difference in time change is huge. The other thing is that when we come in for throws that we utilize our hips, the same exact thing is true. So if I'm coming in for an ogoshi, okay, I need to come up first before I enter. And this difference, all right, in time change, very, very small, all right, but when you need that tiny edge, that difference is really important. So, when we're here, again, we can still have good forward posture with our hips, and we can still defend people coming in for the legs and things like that by changing our posture this way. We don't want to bend over. The other thing around your hips relates to how your own posture is controlled. So, if I'm in this position and my partner starts to get an over-the-top grip, okay, and they go to break my body down, when my hips are forward, okay, I can keep good posture. As soon as my posture comes to a point where I've kind of passed this 45-degree angle in terms of being bent over, it's much more difficult for me to now get back up from that situation. So now, instead of being in a position where I potentially could attack, once they break me down, I'm in a position where I need to defend the entire time. Another way we can look at that is around your reaction time to maintaining equilibrium. And so this kind of goes into our fourth point. And that is, if my partner is bent over, okay, and I give them a strong tug down, their body moves a lot. Because their hips are back, and their center of gravity is dispersed a lot more horizontally than it is vertically, okay? So he's got a lot of weight that's out past his toes, okay, instead of everything being in alignment. If I do the same thing, and he has good upright posture, everything gets absorbed down through the body. When we're doing judo and other throws, or other grappling arts that requires us capitalizing on our partner's reaction, okay, up or down, specifically in situations where I'm going to pull him down, and then when he reacts back up, I'm going to attack. We create a very dangerous scenario for ourselves if we're highly bent over. Bend over. Okay, here. Because as I tug this person down, if they do not react up with the same distance to regain that equilibrium, okay, now I've got access to coming over their back. I can even just drag them to the mat and start attacking. So they open themselves up to a scenario where they have to regain equilibrium. Here, and as they come back up, they get set up for another throw. So we want to make sure that even if we're changing level, that we don't bend over too much because of all those points. Because the fact that we can't use our hips to defend, the fact that our partner can break down our posture even more, and the fact that if our partner does try to drive us to the mat, when we react, we set ourselves up for some really nasty throws. So those are all really, really crucial. Alright, the fifth key thing with posture for judo and gi grappling is around how we create off balance and how we generate rotational kinetic energy that allows us to put more power into our throws. So anytime we're doing a forward throw, Okay? One of my main components of being able to execute this throw well is the ability to generate off balance without off balancing myself. And typically how we do this is with that front entry leg with a slight bend in it, allowing us to create a wall that we can push against. So this is a scenario where if I don't have really good posture in terms of being low enough with that bend in my feet, I can actually hurt myself just as much as if I had too much of a low bend over posture. And what I mean is, if this leg is straight and I go to pull my partner, I may pull him as much as I pull myself. Okay, so you saw my back foot came off the ground. If I put a slight bend in this and I still maintain that upright posture, now I've created a wall that I can push against. Now I can get off balance without off balancing myself. And that's really key for getting that initial off balance that we use to enter for our throws. Part of that is that if I'm down low like this, all right, it means that I have only two directions that I can go to get that off balance. One is that I get the off balance by coming up and tugging with my arms. Okay, which means that I'm limited by how strong I am. The other one is that I come all the way back up and then I use that whole frame again. But that means that I have got to take the time to go from this position up to this position and then throw. There are some other throws where we can attack from this low position, coming in deep like that. But in general, we can do that throw better by coming from a standing position and corkscrewing down. And there's a really important reason why. When a person is spinning and they go from having their arms out further like this, and then they tuck and spiral down, this creates a change in how fast they rotate, all right, because of conservation of angular momentum. So when you see a figure skater, all right, and they're spinning, their arms are out, and then they tuck down, all right, they start to rotate significantly faster. When we're doing judo, a lot of times we do the exact same thing. So I may be coming in for a technique, I get that off balance here, so let me do taitosh, I get that off balance here, and as I rotate in, this all starts to come down and in, okay, to complete my technique. Especially in things like seonages. I'm coming in, I'm getting that rotation, all right, and then my body is maintaining the frame, but I'm spiraling down as I do that. For every time you double your rotational speed, you quadruple how much rotational kinetic energy that you can impart into your opponent. So it's the same thing as essentially how much torque you can put on your opponent's body. If we start out very low here, and then we enter, our body does not change in terms of our conservation of momentum, of angular momentum. Okay, so we've lost that chance to create, all right, this rotation out here, and then collapse it down to increase how much rotational kinetic energy we can impart to our partner. So even though there's a lot of throws that we can do from down here and jumping in general, you have to consider the fact that that throw may get you a better entry, but you may not have as much energy or torque that you can impart on your opponent. And depending on your weight class and your size, that may make a huge difference. If you're a much smaller person and speed is super important to be able to execute the technique, this can make the difference completely. Okay, so something to think about, those main 5 ones. I hope this helps everybody. There hasn't been a lot of people talking about this, and I think one of the things that we run into a lot is people treating no-gi grappling and gi grappling kind of the same. And you really have to consider how your posture and how your grips and how the ability to attack from far away impacts all these things and changes it. So if you're in a no-gi scenario, you want to make sure that you have really good wrestling. You want to make sure that your posture is low so that you can defend people shooting on you very easily and you can shoot on them. But when you're in a gi grappling scenario, okay, as soon as I am able to get my grip on my partner, now I want to maintain that posture so I can use my hips, all right, so I can pull against that frame that I've created, so I can rotate in faster, so I can defend his attacks, and so I can make sure that my partner doesn't break my posture down and take all those things away from me. So, hope that helps everybody. Have a good weekend.